welcome to the Webcast for Tuesday, June 2nd. I'm South Ops meteorologist Jonathan O'Brien. The marine layer has deepened to around 2,500 feet this morning thanks to a coastal eddy offshore and a very weak upper-level disturbance moving through, with that upper disturbance also producing a few high clouds across the region as well. We will see steady clearing today, but it will take quite a bit longer than yesterday, with coastal and some coastal valley areas likely not clearing until midday or early afternoon. With the deeper marine layer, areas along and west of the coastal slopes will see a couple degrees of cooling today. However, interior areas will change little or even warm slightly versus yesterday, and overall temperatures remain near to just slightly above average for this time of year. The forecast for the rest of this week remains on track. The weak upper-level disturbance today will move southward into Baja tomorrow, allowing high pressure to strengthen a little more tomorrow and Thursday. From there, we're still looking at a Pacific trough moving over the west coast during the upcoming weekend, bringing some cooler weather. And while there is some uncertainty, most model guidance is now converging on some degree of a troughing pattern lingering at least through early next week. We're still not expecting any major changes for the next few days, but as that area of high pressure strengthens a little, we should see a warming trend Wednesday and Thursday, along with a tendency for the marine layer to become more shallow. Here's a look at the forecast highs by Thursday. We will also continue to have a fairly dry air mass in place this week. Minimum humidity will be mainly between 12 and 25% above and inland from the marine layer influence through Friday, with some single digits in the usual drier spots, and some areas of fair to poor recoveries developing, especially across the higher terrain over the next couple of nights. Winds will remain light overall through the rest of this week, with local and terrain effects dominating in most cases. There will be some occasional breeziness across the interior, and Wednesday in particular looks to feature a pretty strong west to northwest sea breeze push in the afternoon, which will lead to some gustier winds versus the surrounding days. As the Pacific trough approaches, a cooling and moistening trend will occur this weekend along with an increase in onshore flow. We're still looking at valley highs falling mainly into the upper 70s to mid-80s by Sunday, several degrees below normal for this time of year. The marine influence will deepen significantly over the weekend and we'll see an increase in humidities. And most indications now are that this cooler pattern will likely continue at least through early next week, with near to below normal temperatures and generally benign conditions likely. One thing we're not expecting is any meaningful rainfall, with little to no precipitation expected over the next 7 days. And that's certainly nothing unusual, as June is typically one of, if not the, driest month of the year in much of the region. The warm and dry conditions this week will bring a fairly significant decrease in the dead fuel moisture above and inland from the marine influence through the end of this week, before things level off and increase some during the upcoming weekend. ERCs will trend close to seasonal averages. They do remain well below critical levels, but finer fuels will still show good receptivity away from the coast with the warm and dry weather the next few days. In terms of fire potential, the warm and dry conditions will support steady initial attack activity over the next few days. There will be a daily chance for a new large fire on well-aligned starts. Fire potential will decline this weekend into early next week with the cooler weather, and potential should remain mainly concentrated in grass-dominated fuel types. The lack of more impactful fire weather will limit the potential for fires to extend across burn periods or into heavier fuel types this week, especially given that live and heavier dead fuel moistures remain somewhat elevated. So overall, things continue to have a shoulder season type feel, with enough cool and moist intrusions continuing to keep us out of true high fire danger conditions for now. That's it for today's webcast. Thanks for joining us. Next one will be on Wednesday, June 3rd.